Nice.
Hey,
Hey,
everybody.
everybody. Go ahead, Chris. Introduce us. You keep interrupting me.
If you just, I'm trying to,
Welcome to
hey,
Campfires and Catholes.
yeah, welcome, guys. So this is a special one because our guest tonight is actually Brian Carlson of Carlson Adventures, because he's going to go over the section hike that he did. We're going to ask him some questions. We're going to just squeeze all the info out of him that you can
Not
get.
too hard.
Yeah,
Don't
for
squeeze me too hard.
this particular. Now, full transparency, I am not an AT enthusiast, but this is not about me. But I am going to be asking questions. I'm hoping that you guys can ask questions as well in the chat. We will be monitoring the chat for questions. But we're just gonna jump into it. And so, first, do we want to show the map first of where you started, or do you just want to talk for a few minutes first?
You can pull it up if you want.
Okay.
Like I said, if anybody has any questions about the AT, the section I did or whatever, we're going to be monitoring the chat, and I'll answer everything I can answer. I could more than likely get you an answer. But for those who don't know, last week I did my first section hike of the Appalachian Trail, and it is probably one of my favorite hikes I've ever done, period, bar none. Super great experience. I've been making some videos. What's the AT? Hooks wouldn't know. Anyways.
Super.
So many jokes there. I just shut up.
I know.
But so I don't even know where to begin on this journey I was on. How was the weather? There you go. First question.
First question.
The weather was great, all except for like a day and a half. On, let's see, what was it? Wednesday, we had storms coming in and everything. So Tuesday night, where I was at, we had really bad winds. And it was not a fun sleep night at all. I didn't sleep at all, hardly. So I was hiking with the group, and we decided to go to a bed and breakfast. There's 5 of us. They could hold 5. We got off the trail, missed the rain, went back out. So I hiked in great weather. It was 40s to 60s. I think one night it got down to 27 the first night, but all in all, the weather was pretty good. So the section I did was
Is this where you
you got
started?
on the map? Yeah, at Amicalola Falls State Park. So on the AT, you can start at Amicalola Falls State Park and hike what they call the approach trail up to Springer Mountain. That's 8.8 miles just to get to the very first white blaze on the AT. And from there, I continued north. I started on a Saturday, ended that next Friday, all the way at a road crossing called Dix Creek Gap. Right. So basically on the AT, you've got gaps. It'll be named after a mountain or a creek or something like that. And that's basically where a road crossing is, where the trail crosses a road. So it makes it pretty easy to get off. You need to resupply, or if you're just a section hiker like me, get off the trail. So elaborate on the Georgia section versus the Knobstone for us Indiana guys. If you can't do the Knobstone, I would not even attempt the AT or us. I'll tell you that right now. I have done the Knobstone, and it is tough, and it does have some steep hills. But imagine the Knobstone Trail, the steepest hills you've been on. Imagine those going on for 3 to 5 miles at a climb. It's that tough. There were some good sections. You get up on top of a mountain for a while, just like anywhere else. You ridge walk a little bit, but Georgia was no joke. I remember getting just to Springer Mountain the first day, and 8.5 miles in, and I was whipped. So definitely be in shape. I tried to get in shape the best I could for it, and I don't know. By the end of the week, I was starting to feel like as the climbs came, I was getting my cardio there and my strength. But I also go ahead.
Those stairs? I remember you commenting in your video on those stairs that kicks and it's 175 steps. Is that how many it is?
Oh no, that's to the first landing, the overlook. The total steps is 600.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. So Andy from Metro on the Move was with me too, and he was in a little bit better shape than I was. And I think I'm a pretty strong hiker, but man, he was like running right up the steps,
Well,
and
isn't he younger than you?
a little bit, probably
Yeah.
maybe 5 years younger than me, 6 years, something like that. But I
Okay.
think his pack was a little bit lighter too. Give me a minute, I'll think of some more excuses.
Yeah.
But but no, talk about pack weight. I started out. I had 4 days of food with me, and I'm a hammock camper. Um, Water, 4 days of food, a full fuel canister, and my pack was 24.3. So I was on the
That's
lighter
still not.
side.
Yeah, that's respectable.
I was amazed how many people had 30, 38, 42 pound packs. I'm like,
No, nah,
holy crap.
son, nah.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I, I,
But
I
hey,
ain't about that life. No.
they carried their stuff, man. It was pretty cool. Do you think having a foot longer hammock improves your hike? Absolutely not.
Hey, Waterborne, welcome. We're talking about Brian's section hike of the AT. He did 78 miles from starting at Georgia. Uh, so we're talking about that. So take us back. Take us back to the
Take us
start
back.
and your excitement and
Um,
and all that.
I've been hiking for 7 years now, and ever since I learned of the AT, I'm just like, oh man, that sounds awesome. Like, starting in Georgia, hike all the way to Maine. Are you
Yeah,
serious? That's incredible. What a journey. But I think that's one of those things, unless all the stars align, you have to do when you're young and you don't have any responsibilities, or a lot of people were
the
doing it
show.
that I've seen that had retired. So for me, I'm just biting off sections as I can. It's my dream hike. And just to get it started this year was incredible. Um, I did get 78 total miles.
Total.
My yeah, total from Amicalola to Dix Creek. My
Mhm.
goal was to at least get that, or I really wanted to get up to North Carolina, which was another 8 miles up, and then I would have had to hike 8 miles back to get picked up. But
Yeah,
because I did get off trail one day because of there was tornadoes and really high winds coming through and stuff.
you can't win,
Um,
man.
no, I only got 2.5 miles in that day. I did get off trail on Friday, and I was planning to get off trail on Saturday. So I did it a day quicker. Plus, I was off trail a day. So, um,
So when you started out and you were you still excited at the top of the stairs as you were at the bottom, or
um,
were you less so?
it
Like
really
like
hit me when, like, I was excited the whole time, but when I pulled into Amicalola Falls State Park that morning, went through the gate, and you don't go very far past the security gate. You see the registration office, and you can kind of see that iconic arch that starts a trail back behind it. And
that the one you did the slow mo on?
yeah, so funny note. I don't know if Andy from Metro on the Move will be in the live chat or not tonight, but so he's Georgia boy, lives in Atlanta, hour away from there. We walk into the registration office, and I'm filling out just some paperwork so I can leave my truck in long term parking. And I'm filling out paperwork, and Andy jokingly says, "Hey, you didn't know that you're talking to somebody famous." He says this to the girl working the desk, and he's talking about me, and she's like, "Oh, I know who he is." And he's like, "What?" He said, "Carlson Adventures." She's like, "Yeah, I follow him on Instagram." He's like, "No way." And
Really?
he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You know who I am?" She had no idea who he was. So he's got almost 3,000 subscribers on his YouTube. I don't know how
That's
many on Instagram.
fantastic.
And
Hey, so
she
let's talk
she
be-
she knew
before
me.
you go any further. We need to make an announcement on that
What's that?
about your channel.
Oh
You
yeah.
hit a
I
milestone, and we need to talk about that.
I did hit a milestone today. I finally broke the 500 mark on subscribers on my YouTube channel. So all of you that
You,
are in here that subscribe to my channel, thank you so much. It's really just a hobby for me. I do enjoy making the videos and sharing
yeah.
just my hikes and stuff, and to see that 500 people maybe almost give a crap about what I'm doing is cool. And just the community is, I've always said it, it's the community more than anything. I've met so many great people through
So think
YouTube so
about this.
far.
You can, when you get your community page, you can blow up the feed of Michael Peterson. And I really want you to do that first week.
Oh, I can, and I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. I want like stupid crap, you know?
Right. But yeah, I hit that this morning. I loved it. Just subbed to his channel the other. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. If you're talking about mine, not Metro on the Move. But anyways, back to the AT. So um I've got all of the videos now edited. And that was the first time that I've really just filmed and just kept it, collecting over 7 days. And boy, that was a chore when I got back to import everything and then try to figure out where each day started and stopped. So I might have
Yeah.
to figure out a better way to do that next
I
time I
will say,
do a multi-day.
I have to give you props on what the style that you chose, because if you kept me interested, and I freaking hate through hiking, so I was like, now part of it's because you're my friend, but also I was like, okay,
Right.
I'm not bored. I can watch this. I'm not bored. He's just telling what he's doing and the
Yeah.
trials and tribulations.
I did it a vlog style, and the first 2 days are my longer videos. Then I kind of cut it back some. Um, it's one of those things, and you guys that do YouTube will understand this. So I met two people the very first day at Springer, and then at the first shelter that night, just eating dinner and talking. And everybody kind of hangs in a bubble all the way up through there. Whoever you start with, maybe even half of the people you kind of hang with all the way. You at least see them, leapfrogging back and forth on trail every day. And second day they were there. The one guy that I met on Springer, his name's Preston. I ended up sharing a campsite with him the second night at the shelter area because the campsites were so packed.
Yeah.
And me being in a hammock, I didn't need the flat spot. I found two trees right there. So we shared. And the next day, um, him and I just were packing up together. He said, "Hey, do you mind if I hike with you today?" I'm like, "No, man, come along."
No.
It was kind of cool. He was 21 years old, great head on his shoulders. He's a great dude. And then mile up the trail, we're getting water. This young girl comes bebopping up through there, and she's like, "Hey, where you guys going tonight?" And we're telling her, "Oh, do you mind if I hike with you today?" No problem. So quick friends. So you
Yeah.
know how it is with quick friends and hiking. It's like you're all about like the experience there, and then you're not filming way near enough video.
Right.
So I wish I would have got more video of just the landscape because it's so hard to take it all in and
That was going to be my next
just
question. What was your favorite
yeah.
view?
Um,
If you had to pick just one, and that's all you get.
just one.
Yeah, on that section.
Um, God, there's so many. Uh,
So many.
so in day, well, no, honorable mention, day two. It's the thumbnail of the video I just released today, where you'll see me in the video. I'll walk out and step up onto a like a little rock platform overlooking the valley. That
Yeah.
was on top of Sassafras Mountain, which is one of the bigger ones down there. It is a total ass kicker, and that was pretty awesome because it's just made for an overlook. You stand out there, but probably my number one was the actual last night I was on trail. We decided to make a big day so I could make my goal, and we went 19 miles and we climbed up Rocky Top
True.
Mountain. It comes out of Unicoi Gap, and it is a just ass kicker. I mean, it is just rocky, rooty, steep, long, no switchbacks. And I got up to the top, and you guys will see it in the video when it comes out. But I got the sun setting behind me as I'm talking and showing
Oh,
everybody
nice.
just over the mountain. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we just don't have anything like that in Indiana.
No.
And geez, man,
Uh,
it was just still can't even put it into words how fun it was.
so now that we've covered the view,
Hmm.
how many times did you have to dig a cat hole? You knew I was going to ask that.
Twice.
Just twice? I thought it was 3 times.
No, you're right. You're right. It was 3 times. You're keeping track of my pooping a little too much.
I've got a spreadsheet. I can show you later.
Right. No. So the chicken teriyaki from Peak Refuel,
No.
that
Did it blow
killed
you
me.
out, did it?
I had that the first night, and I was glad I was hiking all by myself on the second day, because it would have been like, "Hey guys, wait up! I got to run over here." It tore my stomach up, and
Hey,
there you go, nice sound effect.
thanks. We have some questions here in the chat.
Okay, yeah, let's hit them.
Let's
I can talk
start
all day.
with. All right, let's start with John Coffee.
Yeah,
Did you take time? Here, I'll show it. How about that?
here you go. You take time on enjoying the focus. I really didn't try to crush miles. I try to enjoy it and try to be present in the moment. It was just, I don't know. There's so much to see. It was funny. The group I was hiking with, we just kept laughing because we are tripping constantly because there's roots and rocks. It's kind of like if you guys have ever been there, like Red River Gorge or something like that.
Oh yeah,
The trail's kind of like that, roots, rocks everywhere. But we all kept saying, "Oh my gosh, look at this!" And you come around a corner of this big mountain, and there's just like big giant valley. You're like, "Oh wow, trip!"
this is beautiful.
Yeah, mileage wise, they ranged. I think the lowest mileage day I did was 9 miles, and that was just to. I either had to do 9 miles or like 15, because from 9 to 15, there's an area from Girard Gap to Neal Gap that if you camp in that area, you have to have a bear canister because of the amount of active bears that are in that area. So a lot of us on that day, we just did 9 miles. I was at camp at like 1 o'clock, and
Yeah, that kind of stinks, but yeah.
but we just kind of all hung out. It was pretty cool. So and 19 was my biggest day, but all the other days were like 11 to 13. It was just kind of, you know, that it's kind of where the shelters and campsites are spaced out.
Yeah.
So what did you change, if anything, in gear compared to your normal hikes? I did not bring a camp chair. I was missing that. I've got a little foldable Dutch wear little foam pad that I sat on. Yeah. Everything else was basically the same. I tried to cut down. I just brought the necessities. I had more camera gear or more batteries than I would normally take on like an overnight or stuff like that. I had two 10,000 milliamp power banks. I had 4 GoPro batteries, stuff like that. But nothing really any different than a normal hike, except for like I like a camp chair, and I did not bring one. So other than that, it's all my regular gear.
This is a comment, not a.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Even though you unsubscribed, you'll subscribe back. You can't stay away from me, buddy. Waterborne Camper said, question: what's the one thing you wish you had brought? My chair. Definitely.
So talk about that. How did you had that little foam thing, but
yep.
Did you you say you missed your chair? How did you deal with not having it besides that foam thing? Like, did you lean up against a tree? Did you?
Well, you know how a lot of campsites are. I mean, I did lean up against a tree, or a lot of them will have logs that they've drug around, you know, to kind of box off around the campfire or whatever. Yeah. We never had campfire one night. The winds were too high. There was fire advisories. But just like that, I'd sit it on the ground. I'd sit it on the log. A lot of times, if it was, you know, getting ready for bed or whatever, I just sit in my hammock. That's the good thing about a hammock, is you could sit in a hammock and put your shoes on and things, stuff like that.
I have two more questions.
Yeah.
Do you think that you would have been more comfortable or less comfortable if you had taken my duplex instead of your hammock?
I tell you, there's pros and cons of both. So that Lance Creek campsite, I was telling you, where we went 9 miles to that campsite. Me and the 2 other people I was hiking with that day, we hauled ass to get there because we knew there was 40 something people at Gooch Mountain Shelter. We stayed the night before, heading that way. And there's 5 tent pads, and it's kind of in a valley, and it was hard. Me and 2 other people found hammock sites, and then you have to kind of go on around this little hillside, and some people were making do. That was the only problem I had in a hammock. Tent, would have been lighter. I don't know. I think next year, I think I'm going to do it in a tent just instead of a hammock, just to kind of switch it up and see what I like. The pro about a tent is, the night we got off trail, if we didn't go to like the bed and breakfast that we went to, everybody was like, "Oh, let's get to the shelter and we'll just sleep in the shelter." I'm like, "Oh, that's going to be fun. I have no sleeping pad."
Oh
I'd be
yeah,
sleeping.
yeah,
I was thinking, well, I could lay my hammock down and this down and try to give cushion.
yeah.
So there's the plus about camping in a tent, is, hey man, you don't feel like throwing your tent up that night or shelter, just throw your sleeping pad out and go. So there's pros and cons of both, but
Right.
I had no problem with a hammock.
What is the did you now I've heard tell of things happening on the trail, weird things and semi illegal or immoral things. Did you see any of that? Did you
What are
see
you getting at?
I'm saying
Are
I'm saying that I have heard.
you talking about like safety meetings?
Yes, well,
Yeah, I've
there's
seen.
safety meetings and or um, um, meetings of other kinds that are where people are amorous with one each other
No,
with
I did
one
not
another.
witness any of that, and I did catch a windy drift of some safety meetings.
Okay,
That was definitely going on some. I never did see anybody, but you could definitely smell that smell if y'all know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
But no, I never did see it, but I definitely smelt it.
Then you
Um,
dealt it.
yeah, right. So how were the privies? Were they getting full? Actually, Harley, dude, some of them were about halfway full. It was, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a toilet with three walls, walls if you're lucky around it, up on a platform, and it's pretty smelly. And I can only imagine as the temps warm up, it's probably really great. But I don't know, it's better than digging a cat hole.
right. So
That's
talk about the success of your water filter system.
yeah. So first real try of my new platypus quick draw. That thing is it's bomb. I've always used Sawyer Squeeze. Nothing's bad about the Sawyer Squeeze at all. But I love that quick draw. I love that the flow rate is a little quicker than the Sawyer, and I like that you can close the cap on the top, put the cap on the bottom, and I would throw it in my jacket pocket or the pocket of my shorts or something when I got my hammock at night just to keep it warm.
Yeah.
Because there was 2 nights that definitely got down right around one. The first night it was 27. The other night it was like 30, and the rest of the nights I didn't have to worry about it. But I mean, I don't have to worry about it leaking into my, you know, uh, sleeping bag
How
or anything like
how
that.
many
So,
how many liters over the whole trip did you filter, you think? Or how many gallons maybe?
oh, I would say probably 4 to 5 liters a day I drank.
Okay.
So
So about a gallon a day
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was putting it down. Just that's my thing. I'm very susceptible to migraines, and
from
if I yeah,
dehydration.
if I start to get dehydrated at all, I will
Yeah.
definitely come down with one. No migraines, zero the whole trip. And you know what a feat
I
that is
know.
for me,
Oh, yeah.
Chris. You've hiked with me
Well,
before,
well,
and
yours is up here. Mine's in my quads. That's what
right,
happens. Um, did you see any bears, or what was the wildlife situation like?
no bears. That's good and bad, I guess. Um, only thing I seen was squirrels and birds. That's it. Not even a deer. So, but there is so many people going through there at this time.
Yeah.
When I got on the trail on Saturday, the people that were I was hiking around were anywhere from, so when you register as a through hiker, they give you the tag, your bag tag, and they put what number you are that you registered. It was the high 1800s to low 1900s of people, and when I got off trail, they were like at 2300s. So in
Dang.
a week, there was like 300 people behind me.
Oh, well, no
So
bear's going to stick around for that.
there's so many people coming through there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Jeremy asked, how is compared to the Be Free? I know it's more durable, but love the Flow Be Free. Um, I would say it's really close to the flow rate of the Be Free. I think the Be Free is still a little quicker, but I did
Doesn't,
see a Be Free fail on
yeah,
trail.
I've had
First
that
night,
fail.
first night, it wasn't the filter itself, it was the actual small 1 liter bag that comes with it. The guy came to camp and he's like, look at this, man. I got to get a filter tomorrow. The on the top of the Be Free where the filter screws in, it's like it's a firmer plastic. It's
Yeah.
almost like that soft plastic and that hard plastic is welded together, and it literally just pulled apart on him. He's like, I was
Oh,
just squeezing. He's like, really? I wasn't squeezing hard, and it just popped.
that's
So
where it
there he
always
is.
fails. Yeah.
Yeah. So there he is. How many miles out in on trail? So
Hey,
I mean,
Bob.
hey Bob.
Um,
Obviously,
so
people's going to filter water for him, but he had to like get a shuttle guy to bring him another filter from town. I mean, it was a whole
yeah.
mess.
So I'll say that seeing your video on that, I got one. I got the filter
Hmm.
and the CNOC bag that goes with it,
Yeah.
and so I will be using that from now on. Of course, I don't do a lot of filtering, but if I do, that's what I'm going to use. Like if we
Yeah.
try to do the Tecumseh again, I'll take that.
I've been a Sawyer fanboy the
I
whole
have
time I've
not
been
been.
hiking. I've always loved Sawyer. The squeeze has done me well. Um, the only reason I got a platypus quick draw was because I didn't sleep with my filter one night and it got like down in the 20s. So I probably compromised it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try something new. And I would still use a filter, Sawyer filter if I needed to, or, I couldn't find a replacement if anything ever happens to that quick draw. But
Yeah.
I'd recommend either one of them.
Here's Tony's got a
So how
question
are the
here.
trails themselves having so much footwear as compared to the Indiana trails?
He's sensitive to footwear.
No, he's talking about like traffic, I think, right? Having so much footwear as compared to the Indiana
Oh,
trails.
gotcha. Yeah.
I'll tell you, my wife has watched most of my videos now, and she commented on that. She's like, wow, you can tell that's the Appalachian Trail and there's a lot of traffic on it, because if you watch my videos, remember that this is, the end of March
Right.
and there isn't a leaf on the trail. It's all dirt. And there's leaves on the sides and everything, but there's so much traffic already. I mean, I had 1,900 people ahead of me in the last 2 months. There's no leaves on the trail,
Gosh, see
so it's
that's
crazy.
just, yeah. Yeah. So Jeremy's now look at you being an influencer. You influenced me, and now you're influencing
It's that
Jeremy.
500 subs now. People listen to me,
Right now we take you seriously.
right? Oh, speaking of Jeremy,
Oh yeah, we got to
before the show,
pull
we
that
were.
out. What she said. Look at
That is
that.
my new hammock that Jeremy just made me out of Cloud 71. Chris
Now
and I
you're
were
going
just
to get
talking
in
about it
more
before,
orders, and he's going to be hating us.
right? So I got a hike coming up in 2 weekends. I'll be testing this out, but 5.2 ounces for 11-foot hammock, right? Whatever.
I think he said mine's, because it's 12 foot. It's 5.8 or something like that.
We'll see.
So yours is
heavier.
actually lighter than mine.
Right. Unpaved Explorer asks, was there a lot of trash on the trail? Honestly, no. Everybody's really good about it. I think everybody realizes you're in bear country and keeping the trail clean and free of trash. I never came to a campsite and trash in the fire ring or trash laying around it. It was clean the whole way. I
Are you
I
saying
don't
it
know that.
looked better than Indiana?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how many campsites do you come up to at the Deem, and
I know.
there's trash, like where people trying to burn foil and stuff in their fires and cans and stuff. Didn't see any of that on the AT.
Yeah.
Of course, I've only done 78 miles, so
What
I'm not
is
going to say.
so you told me that you could have kept going if you had the means to do so, right?
Yeah, I felt really good. The only problem I've had the last couple of days, it was getting progressively worse, was my left knee. And I've never had a problem with my knees ever. But I think it might be an IT band issue because it was on the outside of my knee and it was
Yeah.
like that ligament that runs right on the outside. And sometimes I could feel it up toward my hip. Sometimes I could feel it all the way down to my ankle, but mainly in my knee. And it was only going downhill. Like I could roll uphill, flat ground, but going downhill. I use trekking poles. After the first day, I use my trekking poles every day for every mile, and just really try to put my weight on the trekking poles coming down the hills.
Yeah.
But you take a mountain like Blood Mountain, It's 5 miles up, and you're at 4,400 something feet, and you come all the way down to Neal Gap in 2.5 miles. So it's twice as steep coming down, and it's a lot of stepping, and you're
Yeah.
carrying your weight, all that weight on your back for so many days. That's the only thing I probably would have, if I was going to continue, I probably would have taken a day at like Dix Creek
Yeah.
Gap when I got there at like 3 o'clock that afternoon. I probably
Take a
would have went.
zero.
Yeah, there was a hostel. It's called Hostel Around the Bend. It's .6 right up the road. I probably would have went in there for that night and then taken the whole next day off and just rested my knee up and iced it some more. So I don't
Cool.
know.
Cool.
I think it's a lot of it's due is I didn't get as much training in as I wanted, and I have a desk job now,
Yeah.
and
I
so
feel you.
I'm not as active as I used to be. So I think it just comes from literally a lack of strength in my legs and in my knees.
So we
So
gotta get back out there because now you have to help me train for my thing.
yeah, I'll tell you what, coming off the trail though, I felt strong. I mean, every day climbing those mountains, like that last day,
Yeah.
I was just chugging up the mountains, and I felt good. I could only imagine like in a month, you roll up them hills, but
Tell you what, one of these weekends, let's go do that training hike, that hike that I do
yeah.
in Washington.
Hmm.
And you can, I'll show you. It's a good training one for a mountain.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would be for like an AT situation, but um, the other question I have, so are you planning then maybe next year to pick up where you left off and keep going north?
Yeah, that's the plan. As long as have like a week every year that I can just take off. It just depends if the wife and I, if we plan any longer trips or whatever. But I would like to take just a week at a time and just start knocking out the sections. It's not as hard as you think logistically. The AT
Yeah.
crosses a road. I mean, you'll cross a couple roads every day.
Yeah.
So getting shuttles, those shuttle drivers, they're all over that trail. But so next year I plan to start at Dix Creek Gap where I left off. It's miles 69 point something on
Yeah.
the trail, but you get to add in the 8.8 of the approach trail. But I'll go from there, be my goal up to Fontana Dam, and that's like the base of the Smokies where they start, and you have to get a permit to go through that. But that'll be a 96-mile journey. So, but think about it, I did 78, and if I wouldn't have taken a day off and would have used my last day, I
Yeah.
would have had 2 days to hike there, and I could have went up and touched North Carolina and back. That would have been 94.
You know what I
So,
might do is like
you
what
gonna
I'm
hike it with
going.
me next year?
No, but what
Come
I will
on.
do is like a part of it. Like I'll meet you somewhere and bring you some trail magic and then do 5 miles of it or whatever.
Right. You
Um,
could come down and do the first overnight.
yeah, I could do that
It's 8 miles to North Carolina.
and stop off and see my buddy Steve.
There you go.
So you have a trip coming up with Hacks and Hummocks, and that's like in 2 weekends, right? That's the Two Lakes
Yeah.
Trail in Indiana.
Yep. I've got to get hooks and hammocks out there and get their help them get their gear dialed in. They've got some new gear, and just be good to hang with them too. I haven't seen you guys for a while, but just a little little
Just
prep trip for we've got a trip coming up in June. We're going to Pictured Rocks, so
sweet.
get out there and let them hike a little bit.
So I want to let you know this is one of the gentlemen that I met on the training hike that I did in uh, that did the Mount Elbert. That they got
Hmm.
13,780. I think they got pretty far, but the snow was too much. So this is Philip, and he's a cool dude. And the other guy, his name is Elton,
Hmm.
and so he knows that trail that I'm talking about, that training trail, because
Yeah, the
that's where
trail in
I
Washington
met them.
County.
They did it like several times, and it's so yeah, that's what he's saying.
I think in Indiana, if you're going to go do a section, I would go over to Tecumseh. I'd try to do that. I would go over to the Knobstone for sure, because if you
Yeah,
need steep hill, that's definitely it. I mean, it's just they're long grinds, man. It's just I don't even know how to describe it. It's just 4, 3, 5 miles, whatever. It's just uphill, nonstop. Um, The last mountain I went over was Kelly Knob, and I don't remember, that might have been a mile and a half probably, but that was probably the hardest climb of everything, because it wasn't a lot of like steps and really steep like that way. It was just a smooth trail, but just steep and nonstop grinding, just chugging away. That one really took it out of me. And then it's like almost 3 miles all the way down to Dix Creek Gap downhill. That's what really did my knee in.
Yeah. So, okay.
It better be a ribeye.
Oh,
Trail magic. Here you go.
We actually are. This is sponsored. I need to do our sponsorship.
We're sponsored?
I didn't tell you that.
Nope, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, so let me get to that real quick.
10 speed and 2 turbos. Right on.
Okay, guys, we are sponsored by Get Out Gear. Get Out Gear. They have a packable puffy. So if your Costco quilt is getting worn out and you can't find a replacement, they are on Amazon, and they actually sent me one that I'm going to be reviewing. So Get Out Gear on Amazon for a puffy blanket. I know we're going into warmer weather, but we're still kind of on the shoulder season. So check out Get Out Gear for all your camping needs.
Very nice. I like how you slipped that one in there.
Right.
Nothing on that? Okay.
You need to take a break.
Yeah. You need this kind of plateaus to take a break on the climbs for sure. Some of them you get, some of them it's just a long grind all the way up the hill.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey.
Welcome to the party.
Right.
Okay, so what else do we want to talk about? So let's talk about your schedule for these videos that are coming out.
I don't know how to do it. I've got them all uploaded to YouTube, and I just set them to come out every other day. I figure like gives people 2 days to kind of watch it and almost forget about me. And there's that guy again. He put another one out. So, but I don't know. Every other day for the next couple of days, I think all the way till like April 18th, the last one comes out.
How many total videos did you make?
7.
Well, that makes sense.
Yep. I've got 7 videos out. I was going to ask, I don't know what people think, if I didn't do like a gear video that I was going to take with me. I don't know. There's so many of those. If anybody would care or want me to make a video on what gear I carried on the
I think you should.
Let me know if enough people want me to. I'll make one and show you what I carried. It's just
thumbs up in the chat if you'd like to see a gear loadout video of
what I carried. It's basically the same stuff that I carry on all my backpacking trips. Like I said, minus my chair. I just couldn't do it. Another 1.5 pounds, I'd rather have food. That was, I tell you, that was one thing on the trail. After like the second day, everybody says, "Oh, you get hiker hunger after a couple of weeks." Man, I had it like day 2. I'm such a hog.
Well, you gave away some at the end, though, right?
Yeah, because I had resupplied at Neil's Gap. I had 3 more days there, and I bought some snacks and some other stuff to take with me.
Yeah.
Cake, see?
You brought cake?
No. I wish. But no, there was the people I was hiking with. I said, "Hey guys, I need a day and a half of food, and I've got 3 here." So I just laid it on the table, and the other 2 people I was hiking with, I was like, "Have at it." So they just split it all up, and I figure they're young, they're on a through hike, they're on a budget. I could bring it back home with me, but it's like I'd rather share it with them, and then they have to carry it too.
So, and you don't have to throw it away,
right?
So Philip. So the Adventure Hiking Trail is one that Brian and I have tried before.
Jeez,
and I've done it once, but he and I got flooded out when we tried it. So that's on our list to do again. Every time he and I hike together, some sort of water thing happens.
I want to go do it as a day hike.
Yeah, we can do that.
Day hike it. Forget we can drop water a couple places and just cruise.
So it looks like a lot of people are wanting you to do the gear loadout video. So I think we've
Okay.
got a consensus here.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
And it's, I mean, you need to do more videos,
Do
says
I?
the guy who hasn't made one in a month.
Right. I don't know. I tell you, I haven't gone. I was wanting to do a lot more trips leading up to it just to get myself in shape and
Yeah.
just the weather, man. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, I, and you can see this from my, if you guys go to my channel and look, I'm much more of a trip video kind of guy than gear videos. I'll do a gear video if it's something I really like and I think it's worth showing everybody. And then you make your opinion from what I'm saying about it, whether you want it or not. I'll share a good piece of gear, but I'm not a big algorithm guy where I'm like, oh, gear videos, they do get the most views, but
Yep.
you know, I enjoy making trip videos. That's what I like to watch, unless I'm really looking for like, oh, I want a new, I don't know, pillow or something, then I'll search out and watch videos. But I don't know. I'm definitely more of a gear guy or a trip video guy. I do love gear though. Gear videos, I painted film. Yeah, they are. Um,
He's getting used to an iPhone, Tony, and he's texted me cussing about having to edit on an iPhone, which
oh,
I don't understand why, but whatever. There are
man,
superior
it's
phones.
KineMaster, man. I love that editing software. It's so simple. It's so easy. I've used it for years. Um, I don't. It's just
You and Trail
different.
Medic with your phone editing.
I don't have a MacBook. I've got a laptop, but
Yeah, I know.
the KineMaster doesn't work on the Windows. So
Right.
pain in the ass. But no, I've got it figured out now. It took me a little bit to figure it all out, but I've got it down now. So
Cool. Cool.
the thing I do miss is I used Pixel Lab on my Android, and I
Yeah.
was getting really good, like at learning how to make decent looking thumbnails. And now I'm using the free version of PicMonkey right now. So
So so like getting back to talking about like gear videos, like,
yeah,
do you know I've never done a gear loadout video, not once.
really,
I've never shown people what I take because usually it's too much.
yeah,
But it's just one of those things I've never had the desire to film. But for something like this, for you doing this kind of trail, I think it makes sense. It makes more sense.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I've done one. I think I did one on our Tecumseh trip. I showed what I was going to take on that trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll do one on this one if everyone wants to see.
Oh,
Was it the miles or the ups and downs that you feel you get the shape for?
it's the ups
I
and
think
downs.
it's the ups and downs, man. Those climbs, I'm in decent shape. Um, but there was a lot of people that were just, I mean, me included, they were like, you know, you walk a quarter mile and you stop and you breathe, and you walk a quarter mile and you stop and breathe. They're just, the difference here is you can go to, like I keep saying, the Knobstone, because that's the steepest place I've ever hiked around here.
Yeah.
And you might have a quarter mile, no problem. Do
Right.
that for 3 miles. You're crying at the top. But
I think I might be ready to attempt the Spurgeon, maybe.
Spurgeon Hollow, you should definitely go out and do that. You could do that. That's only,
Yeah.
if you do the cut across where I made the wrong turn, it's only like 9.1 miles.
I just the whole knobstone thing. Well, you know my history with that.
Yeah.
Let's, but we could do we'll do the one in Jackson, Washington State Forest, and because I
Mhm.
want your opinion on it. Because I could be like, hey, this thing is a butt kicker, and based on what you've just done, you'd be like, what?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's it's all about what you've hiked and what you've seen, I think. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I can be like, oh yeah, that's a steep hill, but there are hills here. They're mountains. And Georgia is tough. I didn't see the toughest stuff on the AT by far. I've
Yeah.
seen some good climbs, but there's stuff on up north from where I've been. Um,
I
the
mean,
shuttle driver. So I want to shout out to this guy. If you guys are ever going to do a section hike in Georgia,
what's his name?
all the way up to Fontana Dam, Ron's Appalachian Trail Shuttle. Look him up on Facebook. If you do anything, do me a favor. Just go to Facebook, look him up, and just comment on one of his pictures and just say, "Hey, Brian from Carlson Adventures told me to tell you hi." that would make this guy's day. This guy's been shuttling the hikers for 16 years. It was an hour and a half shuttle from where he picked me up all the way back to the park. Charged me $100 for the shuttle. With gas prices today, I mean, and I booked him months ago, and even though gas prices have gone way up, he didn't charge me extra or anything. So there's a picture right there where Chris has got up. He will post everybody that he drops off. If you scroll way down, you'll see last week that he was picking me up, but I got my back turned, picking my pack up. But he posts pictures of the people he drops off. He posts weather, like he'll keep everybody up to date on the weather.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. He texted me one day, and we were texting back and forth, and we were kind of keeping track where I was at. And he said, "Hey, when you get to Indian Grave, man, I'm hearing there's no water there." I mean, even giving me water reports, letting me know.
What a great service.
Yeah. And the guy, like I said, he's been doing it for 16 years. And yeah, I don't know. He was the nicest guy, just awesome. When we were pulling my bag out of the back of his Toyota 4Runner, he's like, "Hey, you need any of these backpacking meals? I got this, that, and the other." And he's like, I find people where they've left their food bags, and I just pick it up, all these Mountain House meals and all this stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." But I mean, super awesome guy. He would love it if you guys just went over to his page and just said, "Hey, Brian from," what's that?
This gives me hope right here.
There you go. Big guys can hike, man. I tell you what, I was impressed by some guys. There were some guys your size out there just crushing it too. But yeah, super, super nice guy. Highly recommend him.
Yeah, go over and say hi to him.
So get this. So he asked me, he said, "Where are you going tonight?" Because he picked me up at 6:30, and it was an hour and a half just to get in my truck. And I said, "Man, I just want to go to this little town. It's LLJ. It's Ellijay, Georgia. It's 20 minutes from the park." And I said, "I just want to get a hotel there." He's like, "Well, you can go here, here, and here. Don't go here. Don't go here." Tell me about the bad hotels.
Yeah.
And he said, I said, "All right, cool." So I started trying to find one that had room. And once I told him which one I was going to, he said, "Follow me." And I didn't have to Google nothing. He took me to the hotel. Follow me. So, I mean, awesome. Where do you get service like that?
Not very much.
Yeah. So that guy was badass. So
there you go. Here's a question.
If you get down to Georgia for your section hike, I can't talk enough nice stuff.
Yeah. That's a great service.
Yeah. How did it compare to, say, the climbs at Red River Gorge? Red River Gorge has some good climbs in it. The thing is, not to take anything from the gorge, it's got some pretty steep climbs in it. It's the distance of the climbs. Like, you're going from 1,500 feet up to 4,400 feet in elevation in a mile. So it's steep, but it's a mile long. Or you're climbing up a ridge, like I said, we went from Lance Creek to Blood Mountain, 5 miles, and it's uphill. And that's how you start your morning, as a 5-mile climb. So, and like I said, it's not like I'm out climbing the Rockies or anything, but a guy from Indiana, you go out there and you're starting your morning with a 2,000 or 3,000 foot elevation and 5 miles. That's a long, long climb.
See, not to take away anything from your experience, because that's what you did. I could not do. What I'm getting ready to do.
Oh yeah, dude.
3,800 elevation. Mm-hmm. I think it's from where you start. I think it's 3,800. Help me out here, Philip. It's 3,800 feet of elevation. But the difference is that it's generally you keep going straight up. There's not.
Yeah.
There won't be. There's a little bit of switchbacks, but.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, there's climbs that just blow out what I did out of the water. That's nothing. But from what I'm used to and what I see around here, as far as, like guys are mentioned, Red River Gorge, Knobstone, Appalachian Trail, those are they're tough in their own right. But imagine some of those tough climbs being 4 times as long,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, we climbed that day to Blood Mountain. I mean, it was, like I said, it was 5 miles to the top. And then the kicker is 2.5 miles down. So it was 7.5 miles before we got to Neal Gap. And the down is what really got me. And then, of course, you go to Neal Gap and, everybody gets the pizza and, you start loading up because you haven't had town food in a couple of days, and you're like big as a whale when you leave there, and it's
Yeah.
another straight climb, like
Deeper
right out of there.
pinhole.
Oh my god!
Yeah. I was going to
I
ask you, or I did ask you, I think, but you didn't answer this in front of everybody. Is that how stanky did you get?
I tell you, I stunk a little bit. Um, I bring a little toothbrush and toothpaste. I got to feel a little human and brush my teeth. I did just because I was a section hiker, and the through hikers just give up immediately. But I did bring a little thing of deodorant. I tried to put it on every day, but I sweat like a beast anyways. I'd sweat right through that. Um, yeah, like by day 4, when I got off trail to go to that bed and breakfast, my clothes stank. But that was awesome in itself. When we decided to go, there was 5 of us, so they came in 2 vehicles, picked us up, took us back to the bed and breakfast, got room
How
and
did
board
that
for the night.
shower feel?
Oh, dude, you have no
Right?
idea. I've never seen my feet so dirty with socks on all day. Like, I change my socks. I sleep in sleep socks and I have hiking socks. My feet were so dirty, but they fed us lunch. They fed us dinner, breakfast the next day, free reign of like, soft drinks or whatever in the house, and just hanging out. Beautiful place out in the woods, all of that. And then shuttle us back the next day for $56 a person. So,
They're
dude,
making money though.
I thought it was going to be at least $100. So the room I stayed in, if I wanted to stay in that room by myself, it would have been $100. But it was $50 because me and the other guy, Preston, they had 2 twin beds in it. We shared the room. So
Yeah.
with tax, it was $56.
Did he listen to your snoring?
Dude, I know I snore like a wildebeest, but he never said a word about it because
That's
we were
good.
both so tired
Yeah.
that, yeah. But yeah, I mean, you stink a little bit. And then after the first day, you get back out there and it's like, oh yeah, here comes the stink again.
I am a man.
Yeah. Is Hiker Midnight real, especially at the beginning, or does it kick in further down the trail? I'll tell you what, when it was dark, it was quiet. That's kind of the what I saw anyways. Usually everything started rolling down because you got to figure there's the shelter. Let's say if you're at a shelter site, there's a shelter and they usually have 1 or 2 picnic tables, and then there's camping around it. Everybody kind of migrates toward the picnic tables to eat their dinner and stuff. And
Yeah.
you're so tired by the time you get there, you'll socialize for an hour or so. And then it's like, yeah, man, I'm tired. Everybody kind of, rolling into bed. And then the people in the shelter, they want you to leave too, because they don't want you hanging out, partying at the picnic tables and that. But yeah, by the time it was dark every night, it was quiet. I did feel bad the one night I did 19 miles. I rolled into camp at like 9:30. And so setting up a Dyneema tarp in the dark when you're trying to be quiet and not wake anybody up, you feel like an ass. And then I use a pack liner. It's a Nylaflume pack liner, and that thing is so crinkly loud too. I was pulling my quilts out and it was just so loud. But nobody said anything because I got up before everybody and was gone before anybody else in that camp woke up. So I got to pack it all up trying to be quiet too. They probably hated me.
Jeremy asked a question.
Okay, what we got? Wash your clothes or burn them? Oh man, I washed them. That's the other thing they did at that hostel is they washed our clothes for us.
Oh, I bet that felt good too, especially after showering.
Man. They had t-shirts and scrubs you could put on. So I took all my hiking clothes. Here you go. Wash everything.
Wash my underwear.
Yeah, everything.
Waterborne has a.
Here's a question. You prefer a mountain hike or gorge hike? Gorge hikes has some really awesome features, but they can be a grind because of the thicker vegetation. I don't know. As far as gorge hikes, I think Red River Gorge is really the only one I've ever done. And I do love the features. Thicker vegetation at Red River Gorge, the trails are so wore out. I don't think there's really any
rhododendrons.
The rhododendrons, but it's not bad. The mountain hikes, man, that was the first time I've really hiked in any what I call mountains, and I couldn't stop looking. Like I said, we were tripping over everything because we're just you're walking along, you're like, oh my god, wow, we don't see that in Indiana, and you're just looking for miles.
Yeah,
it's crazy out there, and I only seen this much of it,
So you have a lot to look forward to next year to see even more of it because you start getting into the North Carolina section and the Smokies
Yep.
That's going to be beautiful.
Oh, the Ron from the shuttle guy, he's got these laminated little maps about this long or so, and it shows the elevation profile for like different sections. And he hands me one out of his visor. He's like, here's what you accomplished this week, and it shows all the mountains I climbed. I'm like, oh
That
wow, that's
dude,
pretty cool.
that's awesome. That dude has
So,
got a business model, man.
oh yeah, and he's like, next year you come back, here's what you're gonna do, and he shows me from North Carolina all the way up to like Fontana to the Smokies, and he's like, you got some big mountains ahead of you, don't you? I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they get longer and bigger in North Carolina, so next year will be probably just as hard, if not harder. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, we got about 5 minutes left. Is there any? Let's take some more questions. Here's another one from John.
My Under Armour base layer, 1, 2, or 3. It's not really a base layer, John. It's just more like men's running tights.
Like
is
a
all I
dry
have.
fit?
Yeah,
Dry
it's like a
fit
dry
thing?
fit, like running tights. They're not insulated by any means. They do kind of knock the wind off your legs, and that's all I wore. I had those in shorts on. I did have like a Nike sleeveless dry fit shirt, a Outdoor Research Echo hoodie, which is really super thin. And then I've got that, it's like a black, you'll see it in the videos. It's like a black cotton woven, like a pullover. It's not really like a Melanzana. It kind of feels like a Melanzana, but I literally got it at Kohl's for like $65, and it's just got a hoodie on it. Super warm.
It's a grid.
Yeah, it's like a grid, like a
Same
micro
kind of
grid.
grid thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Micro
but I
grid.
mean, that's all I had. I did have my puffy coat on the colder mornings, but that's it. As far as my legs, it was just those tights most days, and I think 2 days I got to hike in just shorts myself. You know, I mean, just shorts by themselves. So
yeah. Let's see. Tony says,
what's Tony say? Your next trip going to the same time of year? Yeah, I'll probably go the same time of year. This time of year down there, the weather can be volatile for far as spring storms. But what I liked about it was warm enough you weren't freezing every night and all day long, but the leaves weren't on the trees yet. And when you get up to the higher elevation views, you can still see.
that's what's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you can still see. So that was a bonus. That, and it's just not hot. So, I mean, I think the hottest day got to 67, 68. And that's the day I was in a sleeveless t-shirt and shorts hiking. That was awesome. You're not doing that right now this time of year in Indiana.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
That's what we're here. I'm reading. I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So your next hike is with hacks and hummocks?
Listen, you can just make fun of Chris. Leave Telly out of it. Poor Telly. Yes. My
making
next
fun of Chris is too easy.
My next hike. Yeah, we're gonna just a warm up hike. Just like I said, they've got some new hammocks and backpacks and stuff like that. They haven't been out much with.
Brand new.
We're going to get them out, and we're going to work through their gear and everything, make sure they're ready to go for our trip at Two Lakes Trail. And
so I want to also, before we close here, I also want to say another thing about the meetup.
Yeah, are we meeting?
The meetup is coming up. I have gotten a few videos from people already. Not everybody follows directions and emails them to me. That's okay, Brian West. But if you want your video to be featured on movie night, email me. If you're a creator, email me at this right here and send me a link to your video. The meetup is, again, just to remind everybody, I know probably everybody in here knows it, but it's May 6th, 7th, and 8th at the Blackwell Horse Camp at the Charles C. Dean Wilderness near Bloomington, Indiana. We are having we're going to do one of these live streams on Saturday night. We're going to have a movie night with everybody's first and worst videos. And then we're going to, Saturday during the day, we're also going to have a giveaway. And this giveaway is growing exponentially for the amount of stuff that we're giving away. And it's getting pretty, getting pretty big. So we might have to do a couple of rounds. and I'm going to kind of set a little bit more rules this time. Not many, so don't worry. I'm still going to keep it fair, but we'll talk about that. But you do have to be present to win. We ain't mailing nothing out. You're going to take it with
Heck no.
you. And remember, at the horse camp, all you have are vault toilets. You don't have anything else. There's no water. There's no food. You have to bring everything you need. And I would suggest even bringing toilet paper because they run out sometimes.
Yeah.
So I just want to remind everybody, if you're a creator and you're going to be there and you want your video featured and you want us to laugh at you, send me a link at this email.
Do I have to?
Well, yeah, you do. but that's coming up, and so I want to make sure we have enough to make a good movie night.
Well, we could just start playing videos off of my channel. That's a good laugh in itself. So.
I was thinking
or Michael Peterson.
Yeah. If I still made videos, I'd have some.
Right.
So I hope everybody is still planning on coming. I'm really hoping that it's not going to rain.
You said it. You said
it's going to be Gazelle Tent City, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And I was contacted by a guy who does engraving, and I might reach back out to him. He wants to make something special for the meetup. He wants to engrave something. So we're going to kick around some ideas. I might have him just make one or two for the giveaway. He was talking about like making a coin with the name of the meetup, the dates, and for everybody to hand out. I don't think he realizes how many people are coming and that we have no budget.
Right.
So
I ain't paying for it.
Yeah.
I'm broke, man.
But anyway,
Georgia.
Right. Do you have any last words to say to the folks before we sign off? Because we're over an hour now.
Hey, enough people. I'll go ahead and I'll get a video out. Maybe I'll have it come out after my last day 7, just showing you guys what I took on trail. I wasn't really sure if anybody really cared, but it's basically my same setup I use all the time. But I'll go ahead and get that out for you guys too. Thanks for everybody who's already watched and all the great comments. It's great to hear you guys enjoying what I put out there so far. This trip, it meant a lot to me. It's a dream of mine, and I'm so blessed to just have the time and be able to afford to do it with everything going on. Like I said, through hiking it is a dream of mine, but I'll take every mile I can get every year it takes me to get it. So
cool.
Thanks for all the subscribers lately. I'm so happy to finally get over that 500 push.
Yeah, now we got to push you to 1,000. We got to get you monetization going. And I know a guy who used to make live streams overnight. We could of his block. We could get you doing that.
Right, just to make a live stream every day. I'm going to live stream my life.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks guys, and we will catch you on the next one in 2 weeks.
Get out there and explore.
Believe better you found it.
There you go.
Later.